Hello, I'm Trevor Lewis from the Voyager STEAM Lab, and I'm coming to you from my living room. And we are going to talk today about Google Classroom. This is just going to be a brief tour of all the areas of Google Classroom. So let's have a look at a test class here. So this is my test class. You can see I didn't change the theme. It's sort of a random theme. You can select a theme from a pre-selected list, or you can upload your own photo that's long and wide and high enough resolution. This is the name of the class. This is the section title, and you get a class code here. The class code is how you can get students in there. This first page here is the stream, but we're going to come back to that because whenever I open a class, the first place I go is actually the settings, which is up here in the gear. So you're going to click on the settings. You set these things when you set up the class, but then these things you can really set anytime. So I'm just going to show you a couple of important things here. So one thing that I want to show you is this part right here. I always switch this to only teachers can post and comment, at least at first, because if I want students to be able to comment, I'm going to need to set expectations for them first so that it doesn't just turn into a chat window. And I certainly don't want students to be able to post to the stream and create their own whole posts unless I have set very clear expectations about what that looks like. You've also got a couple other things that you can set here. One of the things is this Guardian summary is turned on, which means that this class will be added to a summary. And I think this is important to show you because this is the only time that you can see, unless you're a parent, what the guardians see when they get them sent home. So unless you're the guardian of a student, you can't tell. And so if you click here, it gives you a little sample, and you can see that it compiles all the classes that they have signed up for together, shows activity, it shows making assignments, it shows things that are due soon. So parents can sign up for those things, parents or guardians, excuse me. And I'll show you where you can enter those guardian email addresses in a moment. The other thing I want to show you is grading. So there's a brief little grade book in Google Classroom. You can see by default it's set to no overall grade. You get total points and category weights, which are the most popular ways of doing grade books. You can also choose whether to show the grade to students or not. After you choose one of these, you can also add categories. So that's all in the settings. So let's go back. I'm going to push close here, and I'm back to the stream. The stream is the main place where you get started. So let me show you a couple of parts. So there's the banner across the top, tells you what class it is. I'm the teacher, so I can post something because I have that on for myself. So I would just click here to start typing something up, and I can add attachments to it, and I can hit post, and it would show up right here on the stream. The stream is sort of like a social media stream, except for it's actually in chronological order. The newest things are on top, the oldest things are on the bottom. So it's sort of a running record of what's happening. So if you post an assignment, if you post an announcement, which is right here, I can also click right here and reuse an old announcement from a different class. I've also got over here, I got an upcoming assignments here. Due on Friday is the overhang quiz. I can click view all to see all my work. The work is also in the Classwork tab. The Classwork tab is where my students spend most of their time. Classwork tab is organized by topic. Unless you don't have any topics, then it's in chronological order. Or you can also, as a teacher, click and drag these and move them around. So you can reorder them to however you'd like. You can see right now this is what's open. I can see that I only have one student, and it's assigned to that student, and they haven't turned it in yet. But this is very useful for seeing whether things are graded or not. I can show you what that looks like in another class. If I go to a class that's got some grades, I'd have to pull an archived class for that. Let's pull an old class. So if I go to Classwork here and I click on an assignment, you can see that 3 of my students didn't do this assignment for whatever reason. None of them have it turned in because I've graded all of them so far. So you can see that's what that'll look like when you've got some assignments in there. So the other thing to point out here is in the student view, there's a really important button here. This is how you create assignments. I'll have a whole nother video on how to create assignments, so you should check that out. Let me show you the student view real quick. The student view is a little different. You can see they can't post. You can see they still have what's coming up, and they don't have the grade book up here, and they don't have settings, but they do have classwork and people. And if you go into classwork, this is the really important button I was talking about, view your work. View your work is really important for students, and I always show them how to get here because it helps automatically highlight missing assignments. So this student has not turned in any of these assignments in this test class, but these ones say assigned because there is no due date on these ones, and this due date is yet to happen. But this due date's in the past, so Google automatically marks it as missing. If this student turns it in right now, it'll be marked as late, and there's nothing I can do to change that other than to change the due date. So Google can keep track for you when the student last submitted things, which is kind of nice. And the students can really see what's missing. They can also have filters over here to just focus on their missing assignments, figure out what's returned with a grade, or figure out new things that are assigned. So this is a really nice compact way, and you can even click on it and you can see where you've got no work there, and you can click on view details to see what the whole assignment is. You can add your work here and then turn it in. Mark as done would mean turning it in without anything attached. Okay. You can also ask your teacher a question right here. So that's all very useful for students. Back to my teacher view. This is my classwork. I wanted to show you people. So you can see these are the students. I've only got one. You can select the students and do various actions. You can also invite new students by typing in their email addresses. You can invite new teachers by typing in their email addresses. And then the last place I wanted to show you was grades. So this is a new feature. It shows a grade book. If you had more than one student, they'd be listed here. And there's all the grades here, and you can type them in right here. Also, by clicking on these things, you can actually go straight to those pages. So it's a nice way of sort of seeing it all in a gradebook view. So that's it for my Google Classroom overview. That's all the different tabs and what they're used for. Go ahead and watch my other videos if you want to learn how to create an assignment or how to give feedback to students, or how to do a quiz in Google Forms.